Father saw those terrifying images of the tsunami waves. Strangely enough, it turned out to be the last time I actually ever saw him. The last time I saw his face was right here, in a car, just as he set off after Christmas. Within a few weeks, he died quite suddenly of a heart attack.
There's never a good time to lose a parent, but the pain of my father's death took on a sobering sense of perspective when I dwelt on the heart-rending stories I'd encountered in the Far East. Nearly all of these people had displayed a resilience which I'd found simply staggering. After this tsunami journey, the central image of the cross now suddenly promises to renew my pitifully fragile faith. I accept that God probably has very good reasons for not suspending the laws of nature every time pain and suffering are threatened, but that doesn't mean that God has abandoned us. This cross could be the biggest lie ever bestowed on humanity, but equally, it could be that God became human precisely to tackle this question of evil and death. And if suffering is the biggest obstacle to faith, what an image to leave with your doubting creatures. A powerless God who says that no account of creation is complete without a final act of redemption. Can you begin to accept that that's not a hoax? That in the end, all may be well? For the first time in my life, I begin to understand a prayer I was taught as a child. Lord, I believe, help my unbelief.
Well, tomorrow night from 7:10 here on Channel 4, a look at Britain's worst weather and the reasons why it happens. Next tonight, as the noughties approach their end, we list the greatest television shows of the last decade. Starting next on More 4, the possible reasons for Britain's snowstorm last February. And next on E4, Peep Show Series 6, all episodes back to back. Pass me the flick.
Catch up and classics from 4OD, now available at your convenience.
Whatever your dream kitchen, you don't want to compromise. That's why Wickes has designed a range of 29 stunning kitchens with smart contemporary features like these African granite worktops. Not to mention all the little designer touches that make a kitchen you can be proud of. And now they're available with 50% off. Your dream kitchen, it's got our name on it. Wickes.
Sensitive teeth can stop you in your tracks. Now get total protection with new Listerine Total Care Sensitive. It gets where brushing can't, strengthening tooth enamel even between the teeth, and kills germs to protect against gums receding and exposing sensitive areas.
To it. And does it reveal that we're all more racist than we'd like to admit? Six months ago, we advertised for people to take part in a psychological exercise. These men and women from a range of races and backgrounds have come to this disused warehouse in London to participate. They don't know what lies ahead.
You people get in here and sign in, now.
Jane Elliott starts by segregating the group, but she's not going to divide them according to the colour of their skin.
Put your name under the right eye color, brown or non-brown. Your name. Write it so I can read it.
She's deliberately chosen a different physical attribute, their eye
Did you
colour.
sign in?
No, is it brown, non-brown what?
Eyes.
Right.
Sit. Put your legs together. I don't have to straddle them and I don't have to stand between them.
Okay.
Any volunteers with blue eyes will be bullied and collared
Over there.
and sent to a holding room with a security guard. For them, the regime of discrimination is already beginning.
Sign. Okay, sit down. Sit.
So masterful.
I don't usually do this, but I'm going to make an exception in your case.
Oh dear.
Keep your mouth shut
Okay.
and start now. I don't play second banana. Do you understand that? And if you want to be cute, and if you want to be funny, you are in the wrong place. You got the wrong color eyes, and you got the wrong attitude.
Okay.
Now you're bound to find this less and less amusing as the day goes on. Save yourself. Go over there.
Okay.
Throughout the day, I'm based in this adjoining building, watching with psychologists Professor Dominic Abrams and Dr. Funke Bafour. So it started already, and it's quite blunt already, isn't it? I mean, they look pretty shocked.
And she's established a very clear power structure here. She is the leader, and they have to respect her authority for this to work. And at this point, they're all releasing control. What she's doing now is making them release control so that she's in charge.
But the blue eyes are already compliant. They're being shouted at,
Yes.
told to sit down, shut up.
I think they think it's a joke. They might think, oh, this is workshop, this is just to set us up for the workshop, not really realising the impact it's going to have on them.
Brown or non-brown?
Brown.
Go right down there. Brown-eyed, go there.
Volunteers with brown eyes are sent straight through to their seats in the main hall. This will be the privileged majority group. The blue eyes will be held together in an uncomfortable room with just 4 chairs.
Gosh, she's friendly, isn't she?
Actually, she was very rude.
And monitored by security cameras.
What do you have in your mouth?
Nothing.
You aren't chewing gum?
No, anymore.
Don't be. Go over there and stand until somebody comes for you. Sit down. Now I'm going to give you a piece of advice. I don't need cute. I gave up cute when I was 18. And you'd better give it up now. Don't be a funny girl today. I'm not amused. I've had a bad night and you're going to have a bad day. Go over there and stand by her. Brown-eyed?
Brown-eyed.
Go right there.
Thank you.
We're not doing too well, are we? Don't walk in front of me. Go behind me and sit down. Haven't done well at all yet, have they?
Yeah, we have.
Oh, have we? What have we
It's a
done that's so
wonderful
wonderful?
world,
Oh, isn't
you
that?
know.
Yeah, what a bunch of bullshit. Go over there. Thank God.
Thank you.
Go there.
With 15 minutes gone, all 30 volunteers are now segregated.
Keep these people quiet. Keep these people orderly. If they get noisy, they will be ejected from the building.
The blue-eyed group is now isolated and out of earshot. The scene is set for the next phase of Jane Elliott's regime. Her plan is to get the brown-eyed group to turn against the blue eyes. But why? What is she trying to achieve? It was the 60s when Jane Elliott devised her exercise. She was a schoolteacher in a small, all-white American town. America in 1968 was a segregated country. Black Americans were dying, battling for their basic civil rights. When Martin Luther King was assassinated, it had a profound effect on Jane Elliott. She was determined to find a way to show her 8-year-old pupils what was wrong with racism.
You think you know how that would feel to be judged by the color of your skin? No, I don't think you would know how that felt unless you had been through it, would you?
She wanted them to understand how discrimination by something as arbitrary as eye colour is unfair and illogical, as it is to discriminate on the basis of skin colour.
How many in here have blue eyes? Okay, how many in here have brown eyes? It might be interesting to judge people today by the color of their eyes. I watched what had been marvelous, cooperative, wonderful, thoughtful children turn into nasty, vicious, discriminating little third graders. They were ghastly.
In race-torn America, Jane Elliott opened her students' eyes to overt racism.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning. Good morning. I'm your resident bitch for the day.
Yay!
Yeah.
But as she prepares to unleash the full force of her provocative methods on these men and women, what will she reveal about modern, multicultural Britain?
We are going to inject live racism into these people in hopes that in the future they will decide not to let those things happen to other people. This exercise is an inoculation against racism. We can make a difference here today.
Diversification of energy is absolutely critical for Europe's energy security. Natural gas is a cleaner burning type of hydrocarbon and clearly vital. ExxonMobil is applying new technologies right here in Europe to access gas that's contained in tight, hard rocks. Very difficult to produce. So with this technology, we're able to develop very large resources of natural gas that otherwise would never have been produced at all.
Imagine if the most dazzling Christmas ever was Christmas at Mickey's Magical Party. Amazing value. A 2-night, 3-day stay from only £175 per adult. Plus, kids under 7 are free. And if you book right now, everyone's meals are free too. Call now on 08448 003 003.
It's funny what you remember. It's not the words or the music. Maybe it's a laugh, a taste. It's funny what you forget, but you never forget the one. Dolce & Gabbana, Rose, the one, the new fragrance.
Danielle!
Roast pork. Oh, fantastic.
Oh, fantastic.
He'll be thinking, this pork must be a bit pricey.
This pork must be a bit pricey.
When actually it was a third off and it will make another meal tomorrow.
Lad's night out tomorrow.
Hey, forget it. You're babysitting.
Hey?
Save a third on Sainsbury's pork leg joints.
I want a place where I feel safe.
Natural beauty surrounds us, and I want to keep it that way.
I think good design should stand the test of time.
Who will Gordon crown Britain's best local restaurant? The all-new F Word, Tuesday at 9 on 4.
When you do this exercise in a kind way, people think you're weak and they do not listen. Do I have your attention? Yeah. Do I have your attention? Oh yeah, damn right. And I intend to have your attention because there's nothing polite about racism.
The all-white blue-eyed group is now isolated in a holding room. At this stage, none of the brown eyes know Jane Elliott's true intentions: to turn them into a group willing to take part in humiliating the all-white blue eyes.
The purpose of this exercise is to let these nice blue-eyed white folks find out how it feels to be something other than white in the UK for 2.5 hours. They are not going to like it because I don't like them. They've already been abusive, they've already been belligerent, they've already tried to make a joke of something. Can you make a joke of racism?
No, I can't.
No, I didn't think so. Can you make a joke of racism? Can you make a joke of racism? Let me put it this way. You laugh and I'll change the color of your eyes so fucking fast you won't know what hit you. You got it? Okay. You get angry about racism?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the time.
You do? All the time?
Yeah.
Why? Is there something wrong with you?
No.
No? Is there something wrong with racists?
Yes.
Damn right. If you want to see a decrease in the level of racism in your society, the first thing you have to do is let white people find out how it feels to be on the receiving end of it.
Jane Elliott's abrasive style is not to everyone's taste. Over the years, it has been criticised as bullying. How do you feel about Jane's style and approach?
This is an educator, a teacher, trying to teach these people what it is like to feel discriminated against. And you think about adults being taught in that way. She's put them in a childlike position, which many people don't, well, nobody wants to experience that as an adult. So I do feel that some of her elements are quite harsh.
She's taking something that's been incredibly important to her in her personal life and in her role as a teacher, and she's saying, with this, I can powerfully demonstrate to a set of people what it's like to be the victim of racism and discrimination.
But brown-eyed adults are much tougher to bring into line than children, and Jane Elliott's style soon hits a nerve with some of the white volunteers.
What they learn today, they will either leave in this room or take out of this room in a very positive way.
But these people are people. You're assuming that they're racist. You're assuming they've got a lesson to be learned. You know, we could be racist.
Oh, I'm sure you are. I'm sure every person in this room. Let me. You didn't listen to me.
You're assuming they've got a racist attitude just because they're blue-eyed.
If you live in the UK,
you're saying that they've got more to learn.
I just think the logic's a bit faltered to try and reduce discrimination, racism.
Listen, Sonny, I don't care what you think.
Racism.
I don't care what you think. Do you understand that?
But isn't it kind of contradictory?
Do I give a damn? Do I care? You trade places with him. Right now.
Why?
Not because I told you to. That's the only reason you need. Go back there.
Yes, sir. Mom, well...
Some of us white folks would rather not see white folks verbally, psychologically, mentally, and emotionally abused for a few minutes. Would rather not hear white folks described in an unpleasant way for a few minutes. Did you get that lesson? Did you get that message? Now, if you consider this exercise too evil for you to go through it, then you need to be somewhere else.
I would much rather be on the blue-eyed side than the aggressor side.
I don't care where you'd rather be. Now, are you going to cooperate or not?
I'm saying I would much rather be on the receiving end.
I'm asking you if you're going to cooperate or not.
It's an exercise for them to understand this is what comes to you because of how you look. It's a learning process.
An exercise that removes choice and freedom and autonomy.
But you don't have a choice. I don't have a choice to be a black woman. It was assigned to me when I came into this world, you are a black female.
The choice that I'm talking about is a choice of whether I decide to be an aggressor, to be someone who marginalizes these people.
Look, wait a minute. I don't have time. I do not have time to convince this young man that what we're doing is all right. There's no way I'm going to convince him of that, and I'm not going to spend any more time on it. Get this young man out of here. Now, do any of the rest of you want to leave? Because here are your choices. You're either going to cooperate or you're going to leave. It's as simple as that. I don't have time for this nonsense.
Exercise your
I don't
freedom,
have time for this nonsense.
You can marginalise yourself to that lady there. It's your choice.
What do you think's the effect of her throwing him out on the rest of them?
The majority of this group are committed to what she wants to do. And notably, it's the white members of the group who are uncertain about it and unhappy about it.
And now another one's walking out.
People in majority positions, powerful positions, the whites, for example, don't see there's a problem with racism. And it's a really fundamental problem. They just don't see there's an issue. And this is what we're getting here as well, is that the white people in this brown-eyed group are kind of saying, look, do we really need to do this? Is it really necessary? And she's trying to convince them, and the rest of the group are convincing them that it is necessary.
Now, if you think I'm being too harsh on her and him, you ain't seen nothing yet. Because those blue-eyed people are going to come in here and try to argue. Are you going to support them? No. Are you going to support them? Are you going to support them? You? No. You? Now, here's what's going to happen. All I want you to do is act white. You white folks know how to act white. You've been doing it all your lives. You know how to act white? I think so, yeah. Sure you do. You know how to act white? You know how to act white?
Not really.
Well, can you when you have to?
Just look down your nose at everyone.
Can you? Can you when you have to?
Yeah, I suppose so.
Do you know how to act white?
Of course.
Oh, sure you do. You know you do, and I know you do.
With 2 volunteers gone, Jane Elliott seems to have quelled the brown-eyed dissent. But back in the 60s, when she divided her original school class, she was shocked by how readily the brown-eyed group took to their superiority.
What happened, John?
Russell called me names and I hit him in the gut.
She was even more alarmed by the blue-eyed group. They gave up. Their heads went down. They underperformed. Jane Elliott felt she had seen the world in microcosm. Her exercise showed what racism was, an immoral and irrational social construct that people were far too quick to sign up to. Since then, she's put adults all over the world through her exercise, and her approach has become more confrontational.
You're either my way or the highway. Do it my way or get out of here.
Nice way.
Out of here. What have you just learned?
Now, Jane Elliott directs the full force of her confrontational tactics towards her prime targets, the blue-eyed group.
Now, whether or not I like them, we're going to let these people in here. And you're going to see to it that they understand that we have created a situation for them to learn, that we did this for their own good. And how should they feel about that?
Thankful.
Grateful. And if they aren't grateful, what does that prove about them? They're ignorant, they're ingrates. No matter what you do for them, it isn't enough. That's just the way these people are.
The Blues have now been waiting in the holding room for 2 hours.
Time to go, then.
About bloody time, too.
They're about to discover what it's like to be on the receiving end of Jane Elliott's dictatorial regime.
If one of these boys tries to come at me, what are you going to do?
Protect you.
Protect me, thank you very much. Change places with her.
So what do you think's going to happen when the Blues come in now? Quick predictions.
I think the Blues are going to stick together.
I do agree with Dominic, they will stick together. I think one person will probably leave.
Get in here and sit down. They look very intelligent to you? Look very aware? Look very interested? Get up here and sit down. Get up here and sit down. Get up here. You're not sitting in the brown-eyed group. Get up here and sit down. You're not sitting in the brown-eyed group. Get up here and sit down.
My initial reaction was, we're into a them and us situation. I spotted immediately that the group of the brown-eyed people were looking very aggressively at us. They were looking very negatively at us, and I knew immediately that we were in for it.
Get up here and sit down. You're not sitting in the brown-eyed group. Get up here and sit down. Now, if you'll look behind you, you'll see that most of these chairs... Don't move for her. Get out of there.
Jane Elliott now begins to make life very difficult for the Blues.
Do you have a physical problem that will be made worse by sitting on the floor for an extended period of time?
Possibly, but I think I'll be okay.
Possibly, but she thinks she'll be okay. If we find out later that she isn't okay, who's she going to blame it on?
Us?
Us. So am I going to take that answer?
No.
No. Do you or do you not?
I do.
Was she lying before?
Yeah. Yes.
Yes, she said possibly, but I think it'll be okay. Did she lie to us?
Yes.
What do you know about blue-eyed people?
Liars.
You find that amusing. Don't laugh at her. She makes you look real bad.
The Blues will be put through a series of classroom exercises, basic, even childlike in their simplicity. Jane Elliott has used these over the years with dramatic effect.
Oh.
Her mission is to grind down the blue eyes.
You know what a redundancy is? What?
They give you money and you leave your job.
They give you money and you leave the job.
Once they're feeling downtrodden, what they learn from this can be a real revelation.
Who's responsible for you being on the hot seat right now?
I am.
Thank you very much. Now, does that teach you something?
That I have to listen to you.
Is that all?
And I have to conform to the way you want me to be and not how I am.
Yeah. Does that teach you something?
That I'm insignificant.
Yeah. Does that teach you something?
Yeah.
Yeah. What does that teach you?
I'm worthless.
What does that teach you? If I can convince you that you're worthless in 45 minutes, what could I do if I did this with you for 30 years?
You could take away my self-being and who I am.
But in Britain in 2009, the Blues start to fight back.
Getting right along. You do understand, you understand then that you understand that you are being discriminated against. Yes. Do you understand that you're being discriminated against?
Downright
Do you understand that you aren't liking what you're having?
Yes.
You need to know that that's not important to me. What's important to me is every time you argue, you prove that what I said about you is true. That you're argumentative, that you're belligerent, that you're uncooperative, that you're uncivilized, that you don't follow the rules, that you want to have things your own way, that you are accustomed to using power, and that you don't understand.
You're abusing your power.
Do you understand what's going on here? Yes. Tell them what's going on here. And the tall white male.
Basically, it's a lot of people are totally unaware that discrimination goes on as much as it does.
Hey, I want to know what happens when it happens. When it happened to you the last time, what happened?
Wait. No. You don't have to answer that question.
Yes, you do. Say what you want to say.
You don't have to answer that question.
Say what you want to say.
When it happens out there in the real world, people make a stand. It's against the law and people make a stand. Now I'm making a stand. Enough.
And guess how much attention I'm going to pay to that.
You have a free choice. You have a free choice.
No.
Who wants to listen to David speak? Don't listen to her. Speak.
She is not running this show. Take her out of here. Take her out of here.
Fine. Don't listen to her.
I understand what you're doing. I'm just saying I don't understand why. I've spent the morning with these people and none of them are racists.
Just because my skin isn't black. I mean, you probably noticed, a little bit tubby. I've been discriminated. Yeah, I am. I've been discriminated with that all my life. I still put up with it. I face it. I go into shops and see a nice shirt. Oh dear, they don't do my size. Oh well, I'll have to put up with it, won't I?
You can lose your tubby.
But you can't
change the color of your skin.
Unfortunately, there's a small minority that will use the word racism. They bandy it around when it's not. Let's use the word political correctness. You're not allowed to use the word gollywog anymore.
See,
to me, it's not offensive to you. I don't bar black ship. What's that about?
What's strange is that you've got the blue-eyed people actually sort of arguing that racism isn't a problem.
Yeah, the blue-eyed people are defending the system. They're saying, you know, we all have to suffer, it's difficult for all of us. You know, the guy's saying, well, I can't get the right size shirts, you know, this kind of thing. And they're still not recognising the difference in the scale of what's being experienced by minority groups as opposed to what most people in society are putting up with, which are minor inconveniences by comparison.
So I'm sensing, do people really understand what is racism? The group of the blue eyes are white people. They're living in their world. So we're asking them to live in a world of what it's like to be black or Asian, which is quite difficult to do in 2 hours. So in their minds, it's like, well, racism doesn't exist, because it doesn't exist to them.
Look at the time. Now I'm going to miss the news.
Take a chance at a level crossing, and it's only a matter of time.
Mum's expecting me. I better run.
Level crossings, please, don't run the risk.
Extra dry skin? We challenged Zest readers with extra dry skin to try new Dove Intensive Lotion. The result? 3 out of 4 agreed that Dove works better than their current extra dry skin lotion. It's a cream oil formula. It blends rich hydrating cream and skin nourishing oil, turning extra dry skin into extra soft, extra smooth and extra beautiful. New Dove Intensive Lotion. Now save a third at Boots.
Lose yourself in Surf's luxurious new fragrances. Jasmine and black gardenia. Vanilla and black orchid. Twilight Sensations, the mysterious new fragrances from Surf.
Nibble on this big price crunch at Morrison's. These Walker's Crisps 26 packs are an incredible £2 each. It's big price crunch week at Morrison's.
Naturally beautiful skin begins here. Introducing new Jergens Naturals Ultra Hydrating Body Moisturiser with 95% naturally sourced ingredients. Its moisturising power is so intense, it doubles skin's hydration instantly. New Jergens Naturals.
Being in tune with yourself and your body. Knowing what you want and what's right for you. Add a little plus with Femi Beyond from 7 Seas, a new range of nutritional supplements inspiring women's well-being from within. There are plenty of reasons to love being a woman. Femi Beyond from 7 Seas.
At Harvey's now, there's up to half-price savings on their VAT-free collection. This mirrored robe, only $2.99. Beautiful. $3.99. Amazing. A classic. $2.99, like a work of art, with up to 4 years free credit and no deposit. Order now for Christmas delivery. Hurry, many offers end Monday, 8 p.m. at Harvey's.
Beyond Hollywood's classic The Great Escape lies an untold story.
These foul criminals shall be tracked down to the last man.
A special RAF unit embarked on a remorseless 3-year hunt to apprehend those Nazis guilty of murdering the real-life Great Escapers.
1 or 2 are going to be killed. You expect that at the start of the game. You know, to have 50 murdered, that's terrible.
But was the final judgment of Victor's revenge?
Gotcha.
Or a reckoning they richly deserved?
I have killed any number of non-Aryans, vagrants, Jews.
The Great Escape, The Reckoning. Monday at 9 on 4.
Jane Elliott has carried out her controversial exercise all over the world. But here in Britain, she's met stubborn resistance.
I'm not going with all this crack you're putting out, I'm sorry.
That's up to you.
When I came here, racism, oppression was wrong. When I leave here, I will still think that.
In the blue-eyed group, the all-white volunteers are refusing to accept the exercise has anything to teach them, while the majority brown-eyed group are watching on, reluctant to speak out. Do you think this is going to plan? Is this how it's supposed to be?
I don't think it's going quite according to plan, in the sense that usually by this point you'd expect the blue eyes to be more crestfallen, and you might expect the brown eyes to be getting more energised about criticising them.
The Browns aren't joining in a lot, though, are they?
No. And I think that probably represents which country you're doing this exercising. Whereas America, there is a strong divide, or Australia or South Africa. And this country, it's more subtle. So even though they may have an opinion, they're sort of keeping it quiet to themselves.
Do you get angry about racism?
No.
You don't?
No. I was brought up by my mum, who's white, grandma who's white, my auntie who's white, my cousin who's white. I mean, my family is white, so the only thing that isn't white is my appearance in terms of my mannerisms and everything else. So I play the game, and part of my playing the game is avoiding the situations where somebody could have a negative stereotype of me based on my name, what I look like. And I think that's it, because once somebody sits down and have a conversation with me, they realise I'm not the things that potentially their stereotypes would dictate I should be like.
Jane Elliott now introduces a setup designed to force any reluctant volunteers to finally step into the fray.
You, stand up here beside me. Yeah. You, right here. I wanted you, nice blue-eyed white people, to find out how it feels to be on the receiving end of that which we allow to be handed out to whole groups of people every day. You don't live what she lives with.
And you can't argue with somebody's experience.
No.
If you don't see the other person's reality, then you don't face that reality, you're almost part of the problem, because you don't see any reason for change it. Change what? Change what?
In the UK, the racism, it's very subtle. It's very subtle. It's standing in a queue, waiting to be served, and the lady at the desk or the reception serves the person behind you, or the white family that's just walked in through the door, or my son running for the bus and getting stopped by the police. Why are you running? I'm running for the bus.
Her child learns something like this every time he walks down the goddamn street.
Stop and search.
And in the United States of America...
Any kid stop and search because there's a knife problem at the moment.
You're 8 times more likely to be stopped and searched as a black boy.
But you keep saying statistics.